Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Schmoes Show. I'm the Mr. Ryan, and I was today years old when I realized The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is a bad Dark Knight ripoff.
I'm Cairo, and I'm also a Schmo.
And welcome to the Schmoes Show. It's been a week.
It has been.
Yes.
Particularly for India.
Oh shit, don't even get me started on India.
We'll go over that, but
Yeah.
they're going through their peak of dealing with COVID. They were lucky enough to sort of miss out on it in the first waves that hit the rest of the world, but it has come around to them, and it is being put on full display for the world to see that their government is not ready to handle it.
Fuck. I mean, I think I've made my feelings about India very clear in this podcast before, but yeah. My heart goes out to all those suffering in India right now.
Yep. Okay. What where to start? You mentioned something before we were starting there that I haven't had time to actually read through it, but I saw the headline.
Oh shit, I know what you're talking about.
Do you want to go ahead and what the hell's going on with this?
Okay. Let's get down to business, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I have an article.
Real serious news.
Yeah, no, this article's pretty fucked up. Like, I was reading this, and my jaw kept falling closer and closer to the floor. We have a restaurant manager who forced a black man to work at his restaurant with no pay for over, it doesn't even say how many years. 100 hours every week for many different years, never paid the man a single cent. This man was intellectually disabled, as the article puts it, which
the time frame here is in a span of years.
Yes.
As I understand it, the person involved who was being basically enslaved in this was basically a minor when this started and is not currently a minor today.
Yes. Which they started at the age of 12, it looks like, as a part-time.
Like he was employed for 19 years.
Yeah.
Employed. Big air quotes, employed.
Fuck. Do you think he got tax break for hiring this guy, or do you think that, do you think he was able to get a tax break off this? Because that'd be pretty fucked up.
I don't know.
Because if you could say you employed someone but not show any form of payment to them, how does that work?
I would assume it probably looks like the person isn't employed there.
Yeah. Anyway, this poor man worked as a at the cafeteria this man owned as a part-time dishwasher for 19 years. Not a single paycheck. Not a single paycheck.
Yep.
And there's alleges of abuse going on, which I'm inclined to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. This man is a total piece of shit. And right here it says restaurant manager beat black employee for years.
Yep.
Holy shit. Why is the South so fucking racist? And this is all in South Carolina, by the way.
Yeah, the whole thing is just incredibly messed up.
Yeah.
And the kind of punishment that's apparently going to be handed down from this is just so trivial compared to what he did.
Oh, yeah, no. 10 years in jail plus a pretty hefty $500,000 fine paid to the worker, but...
Yep. 10 years, that's just nothing.
That's not even... Well, that is about half of what he took from this kid, but... Well, he's not a kid now, he's a man. But... How do you get away with that shit? I mean... He's probably financially ruined for the most part. But...
I don't know. I guess that's the question. Does he even have $500,000 to his name to be able to try and make some sort of restitutions for this shit? Who even knows? Who's to say? I mean, that's what he's been ordered to pay, but can he actually do it?
I don't know. Let's Google this man. There's apparently a composer with the same name. All I'm seeing is articles about what happened afterwards. I can't find anything about the business. Nah, I
Apparently, the amount ordered to pay is still being recalculated because the U.S. District Court that was involved and handed down the ruling, where do they have it here? When an employer fails to pay these amounts, the employee suffers losses, which includes the loss of the use of that money during the period of the delay. So while he's currently um, receiving punishment for failing to pay approximately $273,000 that was owed to Smith, and the initial ruling was that he would be paying, per labor laws, $546,000. It's being recalculated into include a failure to include liquidated damages. So basically, the idea that not only is the actual wages that weren't paid, the use the his preventing Smith from being able to use those wages also needs to be repaid.
yes.
That's how I understand it. So the actual number is apparently still being recalculated, but it's deeply fucked up. And
This is
like I
beyond
am a strong proponent of prison in general being used as a tool to make people better rather than to just punish them.
yes, I agree.
But in this case, like, how do you correct someone who is so clearly deeply flawed as a human? I don't know.
I I don't know because it's
It's really messed up.
yeah, I don't know what to say to this because when you have like racism like this, so deeply institutionalized, like you got to think about it. This guy was the manager, not the owner apparently, the
Yeah.
manager of this
Yep.
restaurant. And no one challenged him on this. He was
Yeah.
able to get away with this. I don't know if it was because he was hiding it, but what the fuck?
Well, as far as I know, the other people who worked there
Yeah.
were, they weren't aware that this guy wasn't being paid.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, there are clearly other things that were going on here in terms of things like physical abuse and I would assume verbal abuse that someone else would have almost certainly seen and probably should have said something. But in terms of the, underlying facet here where the person was basically enslaved and didn't have any choice in the matter, that, given the circumstances, might not have been so immediately obvious to someone in that place at the time.
I found the restaurant, by the way.
Oh yeah,
The J&J Cafe with an ampersand between the J's.
go figure.
Yeah.
It's very southern.
Yeah. It didn't get that great of reviews.
No, I mean, when you have someone literally enslaved, I can't working 100 hours a week. I'm assuming you're not going to get the best service.
100 hours a week. How much does that equate to per day?
So a typical work week is 40 hours, assuming a 5-day work week.
Yeah.
So it would be
Like 14 hours a
like
day.
well, no, that's more like 20.
20? Oh, shit.
Like, I would presume they have this guy working. All right, let me just pull up a calculator. Let's presume that they have this guy working 7 days a week because I would assume that they're not. I mean, I guess do you have the page still open? What days of the week are they open?
They are actually permanently closed right now, which I don't
Who would've
blame them.
guessed?
Yeah.
So we'll just assume 7. Worst, like, this is the best case. That's 14 and a quarter hours a day.
Yes.
If it's, say they're closed on Sunday because they're good Christian folk, you start to push 17. So either way, it's not good.
Yeah. That. I'm really curious about this man who went through this, the theoretical, enslaved here. Where did they have a family or like a guardian who, like, how did this get? I understand intellectually disabled and whatnot, so it's hard for them to reach out to people about this kind of stuff. But how did none of whoever is in their life not catch on to this?
So it does seem like that is what happened.
Good.
So skimming through it here, apparently the person involved took over the restaurant as manager in 2009. At that time, Smith, the person who was abused, was moved into an apartment next to the restaurant, and that is when he started to be forced to work more than 100 hours a week without pay, according to the ruling. In 2014 is when an employee's relatives alerted authorities to the abuse, and the South Carolina Department of Social Services removed Smith from the restaurant that year.
I found their hours, by the
So,
way.
okay.
So they were open like.
So that's literally every hour of every day.
Yeah.
Because they're only open 14 and a bit hours on weekdays and Saturday, and they're open shorter hours on Sunday. So that's literally every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does seem like authorities were alerted to this and what was going on, and that's when he was removed. So 5 years basically of this abuse that was going on. Actually, I'm curious. Probably worked that math out. But from that, it seems like this is more a case of the ruling that was handed down just recently after the trial has been going on for some time. Edwards pleaded guilty to forced labor in 2018, at which point he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. So, yeah.
This is so fucked up.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm
Deeply.
very curious if any employees saw this alleged abuse.
I would have to assume so.
Yeah, you would have to assume so.
Like, the wages thing, sure, not you can't look at other people's paychecks, but from the abuse side of it, how could you not?
Yeah. Whew. That's heavy, man.
Mm-hmm.
I found a couple other things about the restaurant, but they're not really that interesting. There's a change.org petition to close it down, though.
I'm sure it'll go places.
57 signatures now.
Oh wow! Did someone remove one?
60. Oh, it's going up high. Ooh, let's watch this, babe.
Popping off.
Yeah, it's literally getting signed by the second. That good stuff, man. Racism is wrong.
Yes, it is.
And never, ever treat people like that. Never.
Yep. Yeah. Don't accidentally do a slavery.
How do you accidentally do a slavery?
You don't. The guy knew what he was doing. He pleaded guilty. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Motherfucker knew.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's keep on the real sad train here.
Hell yeah.
Down in Brazil, apparently a teenager has killed a number of young children in a Brazilian nursery.
Fuck.
With a machete. It's very fucked up. The children, I don't get this. Police in Brazil still say a teenager killed at least 2 children and injured a teacher at a nursery. The children reported to be less than 2 years old. Why? Why?
Why?
Guy's 18 years old. Why would you do this?
Throw away your life like that.
Is it just somebody who was just disturbed?
It has to be.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Like actual children. Why?
I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not really anything more to it than that.
Yeah. Well, slavery is bad. Also, don't kill babies.
Don't kill babies. Yeah. Good moral lessons on the show today.
We are only about the moral lessons. Thank you very much.
Speaking of, let's talk about misuse of government funds.
Oh, I found Bobby Edwards' Facebook page, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure it's just a bastion of good things.
It's actually pretty vacant. I think he either deleted a
Oh,
whole bunch
good.
of stuff or he just never used it that
Probably.
much. Interesting. Okay, go on though.
A seaside town in Japan has used COVID relief funds to build a large statue of a squid.
Yes. I mean,
Apparently, apparently it cost 25 million yen, which works out to $228,000, part of emergency funding that was used to build the statue. It's part of a long-term plan to lure tourists back after the pandemic.
why would a squid statue necessarily give you that?
Well, I think it's just sort of like a tourist trap kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, but
Um, it's not necessarily that people are, going across the world to see this particular statue, but, you might encourage someone to stop by and come see the very large squid on their way to someone else, and then, hey, maybe they stop and have lunch in your town while they're there. It's kind of a roadside attraction sort of thing.
do you know what they did in the One Piece author's hometown?
What's that?
Life-size One Piece statues.
So just like statues?
Like actual bronze statues.
Oh, like bronze. That seems excessive.
Yeah. Uh, let's see if I can pull it up. Like that's the kind of tourist trap thing I can expect. But squid
Hmm.
statue is a little out there.
Apparently, this is a small-ish fishing town,
Okay, that makes a
which
little
has had a
sense.
very low number of cases, but has been impacted by a significant drop in tourists. The town received 800 million yen, so 25 of 800 million is pretty small, honestly.
Yeah.
Through national grants that were intended as an emergency economic boost to help regional areas affected by the pandemic.
Hmm.
So apparently, what they did was not like against the letter of the law kind of thing, just spirit of the law, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if it's doing, I guess, well economically to the point where there's not like any big problems there, I can see why. But
Mm-hmm. I suppose the main criticism is that this is money that could have been spent on, in places that do actually need help now.
yeah. Or we can make more One Piece statues.
Yep, yep. I would always be amused to see statues made of the things that are like surprisingly large, you know?
Really.
Yeah, like certain Pokemon that look sort of medium sized, that are like person sized, like a
Imagine.
Gengar statue, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like Gengar's like 6 foot tall, and people don't realize that. And he's big.
He's a big boy.
He's wide. That would be terrifying to come across.
Imagine walking down the street and you see this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dear me. What will Japan think of next? You know what? Why not do a giant sumo wrestler? That'd be kind of cool.
Giant sumo. I'm sure they probably have that.
To be honest, I love sumo. I think sumo is badass.
You can buy one on Wayfair.
Really?
A giant sumo wrestler statue, yeah. How big is this?
Uh,
Doesn't say. Why even bother?
damn.
It doesn't look that big, frankly. Ah. Looks like it is between 2 and 3 feet tall. That's not large. I said giant. Here we go. Oh, no,
But
this
you,
is just Yadro, so it's just expensive.
can you buy one on Amazon, I wonder?
Yes, you can.
Oh my gosh. You
It
know,
is 23 inches high. Have a sumo of your own.
I'm seeing a lot of bodysuits.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there's not more like actual statuary kind of things.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Cause like,
Oh, that's kind of fucking weird.
what?
It's half off at least. I'll send you a picture.
Oh god.
It is a sumo
Oh
wrestler's
yeah.
sculpted glass-topped table.
I saw that.
Yeah,
Um,
kind of fucked up.
kind of fucked up. Yes.
Kind of fucked up.
Yes. I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of sumo wrestler suits too. Oh my god, there's a sumo wrestler gnome.
I
Why
just
is this
saw
in
that.
Home Depot? What?
No.
Yes, you can apparently buy this at Home Depot. No,
Hell
you
yeah.
cannot have my location. Fuck off.
They gotta know.
$27. You can have it picked up in store May 10th.
Imagine that means they have to order it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, no, actually, because it doesn't have my address, I don't know where it's
Oh
in
yeah.
stock.
Very true. Imagine going to
Oh
like
my god, you can buy up to 95.
how much is it?
26.69.
Oh shit.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, that's enough for my stimmy. Imagine going past someone's fucking yard and they have 95 like sumo wrestler gnomes just staring at you.
Why is this a thing?
Yeah, who designed this? Who designs gnomes? I really want to know.
Someone deeply broken, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get into the gnome making industry by accident.
You're not wrong. Wow, there are actual reviews for these gnomes on Amazon.
Oh yeah, I'm sure someone likes them.
Oh yeah, no, these are like, I, 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 I just don't know how to. I just don't know. This is astounding to me because these are all real reviews.
Mm-hmm.
They're not memed.
No, I mean, people genuinely like gnomes, and I don't understand it, but
I mean,
you
Elton
know,
John. I love these little combat gnomes. They are so cute yet always ready to fight off any invaders in my veggie garden. Veggie is misspelled. By
what's the deal with gnomes? Because I actually don't understand. Is it like a cultural thing?
love them. I didn't put them outside because I'm afraid they will get discolored by the sun. They are proudly displayed
Why?
above my cabinets.
Why? What does this have to do with Christmas? What?
I love the look and sturdiness of these little ninja guys, and my grandson loves them. He just earned his black belt. Good on your grandson. What's the deal with gnomes?
I'm looking at a Wikipedia article right now.
Oh no.
It seems very boring. Apparently, some people think it brings good luck or something. I
No, it brings a lot of weird looks.
Yes. Yes, they are.
I mean,
They are used today to watch over crops and livestock. But why? Why?
why do you need a gnome? Why? So, I'm on Etsy looking at gnome stuff because I was very curious what the homemade gnome market is.
Yeah, I'm sure it's despicable.
Would you like to see one of the first images that came up?
Honestly, no.
You're going
But,
to
you know,
love
go ahead.
this.
Go
Yes.
ahead.
I think this embodies gnome collectors to the T.
Yes.
It's a mug.
That sounds about right.
It's a mug that reads, "Voices in my head are telling me to go garden gnome collecting." That's scary. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either, man. Why? I mean, it's kind of a boomer thing, isn't it?
Well, apparently it literally is. It's like an actual baby boomers thing.
Are you serious? Oh my gosh.
Apparently, it's a like modern quote unquote garden gnomes. Apparently, started post World War II is when they gained popularity, peaking in the 60s and 70s when plastic manufacturing came into prominence.
Oh my god. Big plastic was behind it all along.
Yeah.
What do you? Okay. Now I have gnomes all over my Amazon shopping trends.
Nice.
I regret nothing. I do it for the show. Besides the gnome tangent, what else do we have?
Okay. The Gates family have had a divorce. So Bill and Melinda Gates.
Woo.
This is like the news for the day, apparently. It is literally not only number one, but also number four as most read on BBC right now. I don't understand the hype behind it.
Uh,
Like I was skimming through the comments on Reddit over this because I genuinely don't understand why anyone would give a shit about Bill Gates or for that matter Melinda Gates's marriage.
mm-hmm.
And I did not find, like, skimming through the top like 10 comments and the threads related to him, I couldn't find a single person who was questioning or saying why anyone cares. People just seem to care.
Because people want to know how they can be Bill Gates' next trophy husband slash wife.
You can't be. He's already got one.
He does?
Yes. Well, allegedly. So this is what I was trying to find a real news source for, and I couldn't really. I have the feeling. So this is the kind of thing that was known to exist in some capacity in the early and late 90s. It's pretty seems pretty clear that this wasn't a tradition that Bill Gates carried on past that. But Bill Gates married Melinda French in 1994. Before that, in 1984, Bill Gates started dating one Anne Winblad, who is another software entrepreneur and venture capitalist. They apparently bonded over their mutual interests in software and science, and they remained close until their breakup in 1987. So, according to a 1997 profile of Bill Gates by Walter Isaacson's in Time, Bill Gates had an arrangement with his wife that he and Winblad can keep one vacation tradition alive. This is in 1997. So allegedly, Bill Gates, after having been married for, at that point, 4 years, was still continuing to go on an annual vacation with his then ex-girlfriend, who he'd been broken up 10 years prior, while they were still married.
I wish I was that rich.
It is weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like they still do it, but it is very weird.
How? As a wife, are
Yeah.
you okay with that?
It's literally, what would it be? Oh, what's the? Oh, I can't think of the word for it. It's like the my wife's son kind of thing.
My wife's son. My wife's boyfriend, you mean?
Being cucked.
Yeah.
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 I can't remember. There was a thing during the Shia LaBeouf shit that he did with his we will, what was it in the end?
He will not divide us?
He will not divide us.
Yeah.
Some guy at that was being called a cuck, and they were chanting my wife's son or something like that.
Okay.
I was trying to mimic that. But yeah, it's weird.
It's very weird.
Mm-hmm. Winblad is currently the managing director of Hummer Winblad Venture Partners, a venture capital firm she co-founded in 1989. It was the first venture firm to focus exclusively on software, and over the span of 30 years, it has launched over 160 enterprise software companies. She was also an early tech consultant for Microsoft and backs the stock to this day. Last week, Microsoft stock fell by more than 3%. Who gives a shit about Microsoft stock? That's completely irrelevant.
Imagine.
Anyways, yeah. So
Yeah.
that happened. Bill Gates is divorced, and it makes a lot of sense if you look at like their family structure. This is the part that I find really boring about this, is because of how typical their family structure is. They just had their youngest child that they had together turn 18 and move out of their, house, air quotes, mansion. They're on their own now, which is when people who have a sort of healthy family structure, but the love has died kind of thing, tend to get divorced is once all the kids have moved out
Yeah.
and it's the least disruptive. So it just is like incredibly, like painfully, boringly typical,
Mm-hmm.
but it's all over the news. So
Well, it's because it's Bill Gates, and people seem to
it's
think
Bill
money
Gates.
means something.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
I actually had I don't even call it a Twitter argument. It was the dumbest shit ever. Apparently, let me see if I can find it here. There was someone, who's it, Joe Rogan,
Oh God.
had some shit that he said. He's actually walked it back since then. Um,
I have a theory about
where
Joe Rogan. I'll get to after this.
so somebody tweeted out a picture showing two different images, one from Yahoo News, the other from Yahoo Finance. One that says Joe Rogan, who's not a doctor, gives terrible vaccine advice because he fucking did, and
Mm-hmm.
he's admitted it. He gave shitty, selfish advice.
Yes.
And then they contrast it with an article that was posted a few weeks prior that says 5 things Bill Gates wants you to know about COVID-19 variants. Bill Gates, who is also, of course, not a doctor. And somebody said, sounds about right. Listen to the non-healthy guy who probably hasn't worked out in 40 years and has a weak immune system versus the guy who preaches and practices a healthy lifestyle daily. And I responded with, or you can listen to actual fucking doctors and ignore them both.
Ooh.
That popped off. And you'll be shocked to learn all of the actual comments that people made are hidden by default for containing offensive content.
Really?
Yeah, because people are pieces of shit.
Dude, that was like the most solid piece of advice you could have given them.
Yeah, most people agreed. We got plenty of likes, but
I gotta see this now.
I thought it was funny. It was a few days ago.
Mm. As far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure that Joe Rogan is regretting the Spotify jump that he did. Because it's like,
I don't know.
I've seen his analytics. He gets way more views on YouTube than he does Spotify. And many people don't want to make that jump onto Spotify, because I'm going to say it right now, I don't like Spotify as a platform.
Sure, but
And
for people who are in Joe's position,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the contracts that came out over Mixer with Shroud and them?
No, but go on.
So let me pull up the numbers here because it is pretty fucking crazy.
Oh my gosh, I found your tweet.
Yeah. Okay. So Shroud, of course, signed a contract with Microsoft to exclusively stream on Mixer on their new platform. In 2019, Forbes, because we don't have a lot of hard numbers for any of this, but we do know that in 2019, Shroud, according to an estimate by Forbes, pulled in $12.5 million over a year in revenue for his streaming. And while Shroud has continued to grow, it's not like he's had an explosive growth since then. It's been very steady, healthy growth. But he's been continuing to do very well for himself. So let's just say he doubled that in a year. And he made $25 million in 2020. His Mixer contract, which is him agreeing to continue to do the same shit he was already doing, just on a different platform, was valued as being 8 figures.
Okay.
So that is one contract that he is guaranteed to basically make the same amount of money that he made the prior year by continuing to do what he does. And that's guaranteed. If he needs to take breaks for his own health, he can, because that kind of shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Shroud who got in a pretty serious bicycle accident. And he continued to stream, but not nearly as regularly. And that kind of shit takes a hit on people's income. You know, if he needs to take a week or a month off or something like that, he can, because he's being backed by Microsoft to use their platform. He has a guaranteed paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Spotify was giving Rogan enough money to make it worth his time just to use their platform, regardless of whatever else he's making besides that in terms of ad revenue.
Fair enough. My frame of mind was that he was just saying dumb shit. Like, I feel like he's been saying dumb shit a lot lately. And I know it's
That's his
because,
whole shtick.
yeah. I just feel like he's doing it for attention at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he always has, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, okay. I listen to it out of curiosity sometimes because I just don't understand how that podcast is so popular sometimes.
I don't either, but
it can be a
like
fun listen. It's like junk food TV. It's like Steve Wilkos or something like that.
yes.
Yes. And as someone who listens to it somewhat regularly as nothing else to listen to, I
Yep.
I honestly think he just does business on the show, and he'll bring on just totally stupid, whacked out people out of their minds just for the views.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Yeah.
I can appreciate enjoyment, like in a sort of ironic sense, because it is batshit crazy.
Yeah.
So to a point, I can appreciate that, but there are people who clearly seem to enjoy it for very different reasons.
Well, people think they're learning something from it half the time, and
Yeah.
like, I can understand like if you don't know what you're doing. What?
Yep. Like unless he's talking about something he actually knows about.
Yeah.
He's just wrong.
Oh yeah.
Because he's frankly not a smart guy. He knows health and fitness to how it applies to his own health and fitness, but that's literally it.
Well, you also got like I'll say this, when he has a separate podcast just for like the MMA and health stuff that he does.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who also enjoys MMA, I listen to it. That's kind of how I got into this rabbit hole. But he is way, way more concise, coherent, and thoughtful in his MMA stuff than he is with just like when he brings on the alien expert who tells him about how he saw flashing lights outside of South Dakota once.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it's almost like people can specialize in a field of knowledge, and when they become like so dead set on learning that thing, they almost become an expert after a lifelong experience with it.
Crazy.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. With that, let's finish up with India because there's one other thing that I wanted to chat about. Because of course India's been having major problems with dealing with COVID. Vaccine access is, for the most part, not really a thing there.
No.
Even though they do have places of production there, they're often getting, it seems like, shipped to places outside the country. And their prime minister, Modi, has been kind of doing nothing related to it. And they're at the point now where it has gotten so bad that the only way to prevent it from getting worse is to just go into full lockdown. And that, of course, has its own impacts economically.
I mean, good luck getting the country with the second highest population in the world to lock down.
Right. Especially when there's so many people that don't live in major cities.
Yes. Well, doesn't India also have like a health crisis right now where like everything is so polluted that it's like disease is pretty rampant already in like the lower slums?
Probably, but I haven't heard anything that it is, any worse than other comparable situations.
Fair enough.
There's very obvious visible hygiene issues in certain places,
yes,
but I don't think it's especially worse than other places that are similarly impoverished.
Oh yeah, you should see certain parts of Grand Rapids. Hi-yo!
Yep. But there has actually started to already be some ramifications for this. So Modi's party lost an election in, West Bengal.
Okay.
And it seems that it's pretty directly tied to what people perceive, at least, as his mishandling of the pandemic that have pushed people to the opposition's party. Because they want someone else to actually come in and do their jobs.
India, I'm proud. I'm really proud.
Yeah.
Don't they also have that caste system in India that makes it really hard to do anything?
Officially, no, but practically, yes.
I thought so. If anybody ever wants to know why I don't like India, it's the caste system.
Yeah, no, it is basically a form of culturally entrenched racism.
Yeah. It is a hot mess.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's in a way it's almost worse than racism because there's not like there's typically no way to like know like if you're an outsider and you're looking in on a culture and you know that culture has issues with divisions in terms of race, it's something you typically very clearly see
Mm.
in physical differences.
Yes.
With the caste system, there's not that. They're all Indian.
Yes.
To the
No,
outside observer, they all basically look the same.
Chiral, some Indians are more Indian than other Indians.
They would certainly like to believe that.
I know. It's really I mean I'm American. I'm not one to talk, but as someone who's not exactly happy with our form of racism here, it's hard to look at another country like that and be like, what is this all about? It's pretty illogical.
Yep.
Racism is bad.
Yep.
I know it's
In
been
every
about
form.
20 minutes since we last said that, but racism is bad.
Would you know it's still bad?
Yeah. Even Indian flavored racism is bad.
Yep. Spicy racism.
Spicy. I've never had Indian food.
No,
No, I want to
I'm-
try it.
I've not had it much. What I have had, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I've not had anything that's like, oh, I gotta have more of that, but it's not bad. It's fine.
Okay.
I know it's very popular in certain like non-Indian nations, like Britain particularly has a pretty strong affinity for Indian food that they brought over after their occupation of the place.
Oh, occupation. That's a good word for it. I was going to say raid, but
Well, they were there for a disturbingly long period of time.
yeah.
So seems like the right one.
Their vacation in India.
Yeah. Yes.
Britain really fucked the world over.
Didn't they?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
They really were the worst. And I think Brexit is kind of just karma coming back at them.
I don't know. There's probably a whole discussion that could happen there, but
I mean, yeah, we're not British, so I'm going to say we already have a limited understanding of British politics.
yeah. Well, no, I mean, I'm just thinking more in terms of like historical Britain is not the same as modern day Britain, but I could see an argument that someone could try to make that would extrapolate the past Britain's colonialistic mentality in terms of superiority over the other in a way, you know. And I think
Yes.
that there is an argument that could be made that would pull that into their modern political sense, just rather than it being we are superior, so we will take everything that you have and make it our own. It's we are superior, and or it's more not that we are superior, it's that you are inferior, so therefore you cannot come here. It's the inverse, but it's the same core idea.
I mean, a rose by any other name.
Mm-hmm.
Very eloquently put, my dude.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Racism is bad. Racism is bad.
Racism is bad.
Racism is bad. Don't be Britain.
So there is another report here about Pfizer expecting COVID vaccine demand for years. I've seen a few of these. I just wanted to touch on this very briefly because
Yes.
they're kind of, these are very clearly like internal type stock report sort of things that are being talked about with that perspective and tone. And I've seen a lot of people extrapolate them into something else entirely. So in this case, the chief executive, Albert Bourla, said, based on what we've seen, we believe that a durable demand for our COVID-19 vaccine, similar to that of the flu vaccine, is a likely outcome. And that is the kind of statement that I've seen plenty of discussion about that kind of, I feel it takes it in the wrong way. It was the same way with another prior statement that they made at a sales call where they were talking about how COVID, they were expecting COVID to become endemic instead of pandemic, and that because of that, there were profits that could be made from it.
Yes.
And I've seen discussion about it, and it just seems kind of disingenuous to me, some of the discussion, because it's just like, well, yeah, they're a company, they make drugs, they make vaccines, of course, they don't make vaccines for free, right? Of course that's going to be a perspective of them talking about future income, is understanding how these new diseases will impact their bottom lines.
Oh yeah. No. I mean, it makes business sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, would you rather them just be all hush hush about it and not actually talk about it in public? I mean, that's the alternative here. They're still going to keep making vaccines. They're still going to keep charging for those vaccines, and they're still going to keep making money from those vaccines.
COVID's here, motherfucker. It's going to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We had our chance. Wuhan fucked up. Now we are.
Yep. And it really was just a matter of time before we had one of these, whether it be SARS or COVID. It's just kind of an inevitability.
Oh yeah. Well, it's almost like that's how life on this planet works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even at the microbiological levels.
Yeah. Things
it's still
thrive.
Be going. Yep.
Especially when you don't wear a damn mask when you go to the fucking grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I saying it's your fault? Yes, I am.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I don't know. I did what I was told. Did you do what you were told?
I've been doing what I was told. Yeah.
Damn straight.
I get my second shot tomorrow.
I guess we're sheep. Hey, you said tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow. It's my second.
My girlfriend's also getting her second shot tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Damn straight.
Can't wait to be part of the statistic.
Oh yeah, man. Then we're gonna have a real discussion about how Amazon is the true autocratic authority, totalitarian rule.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Samsung 5G.
5G. It really makes life worth living. Jeez.
Okay. Mexico City had a tragic, deadly train crash yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing generally very tragic. These sorts of train crashes are always never good. In this case, it seems like it could have been worse, but I mean, still it's reported as 23 people having died as the train fell onto a road below. Yeah. It looks like in this case, it is an infrastructure problem. The train was traveling on an elevated piece of track, and the track just kind of gave way.
So they don't know what part of the track gave way, or is it just the track?
Oh no, they know exactly what part of. I'll send you a picture.
Okay.
It's very clear what happened. It's more how it happened specifically is not. It's being investigated, but it's very clear what went wrong. A section of the bridge just collapsed with the train on it, seemingly from the weight, and it collapsed onto a road below.
Like I don't see any weathering down on that though. That's pretty messed up.
I mean, it's 2019. That's fairly recent.
I mean, I imagine it wasn't being used that much during COVID.
I don't know. I don't know how public transit for these kinds of things work, because if you're in a major urban center like Mexico City, I'd imagine it's the same way as Chicago or New York, where you're still going to have essential workers, and plenty of them are going to have to rely on public infrastructure like this.
Yeah.
And you'd probably just have to keep running it anyways, even if it's basically empty.
Mm-hmm.
So. Mm-hmm.
Pretty wild.
Yeah. Train crashes like this are always particularly tragic. I guess it's just good in this case that the deaths were as few as they were. And this wasn't like a high-speed one. Those tend to be the really bad ones, like we saw in, was it Taiwan, Singapore, a few weeks ago?
Yes.
Yeah, there's another major one that was on a more higher speed track and was much more violent.
Unfortunately.
Okay. Let's talk about defenestration.
Defenestration?
Do you know what that is?
I can pick out some words I do know in there, and I don't like how they mix.
Aren't. if you're trying to like mash words together to figure out what it is, you're probably not going to get it. So defenestration is the act of throwing someone out of a window.
I've done that.
Have you?
In my high school
Have
days, there was a
oh
time. There was a time we were on the first floor, and some
yes.
kids in my class threw a kid out the window.
Yep. Have you ever done it to a senior member of the staff of the Swiss embassy in Tehran, resulting in their death?
Almost.
Almost.
Yeah.
Ah. So yeah, that happened. I mean the official headline is "Dies in Fall from High Rise," but like, come on,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
People don't typically just fall out of windows for no reason.
Not unless they're really drunk.
No, but that is a reason.
Yeah.
So, emergency services told a news agency that the 51-year-old woman was a first secretary at the embassy but did not give her name. Police in the area alerted paramedics on Tuesday morning, but she had been, quote, dead for a while. Swiss Foreign Ministry confirmed an employee had died in an accident. Federal Department of Foreign Affairs and its head federal counselor, Ignacio Casas, are shocked by the tragic death and express their deepest condolences to the family. No further information about the circumstances of the death, citing data protection and privacy reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under investigation by relevant authorities, and that the results would be made public soon. Saying suicide had already been ruled out.
Darn.
Neat.
Yeah.
Switzerland has represented U.S. diplomatic interests in Iran since Washington and Tehran severed relations shortly after the 1979 Islamic Revolution.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So, certainly seems more in the story to come. Okay, we'll do this one first. This is an article that I was mentioning to you. I was trying to open this before the show. I finally got it to work, but it wouldn't let me view the article without making a BBC account first.
Yes.
I finally got it to open, but it still has a banner that wants me to register for BBC News. And this is the only article that the BBC's website is doing this on, for me at least, and it's one related to China. So it's kind of like, am I being forced to either put my name on this or risk not be able to read this news article about China? It feels, I'm sure it's a coincidence, it feels very suspect.
Yeah, I'm going to try it on my end.
I'll send you a link. Propaganda is certainly doing its work, though, you know.
Nope. I am on the article right now just fine.
This one?
Let me open it up on... Yeah, that one.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
I have two articles of it now. Yeah.
Anyways, though, apparently in China, elderly tourists were taken on a sales trip to a cemetery. So, authorities in China are currently investigating a group of elderly tourists who were sold a sightseeing tour and were instead taken to a cemetery. They apparently paid about like $3 a piece for the trip with lunch included, but were shocked when they arrived at the cemetery and were then instead given a sales pitch.
What, like, is this like the kind of sales pitch you get for like a timeshare?
I don't know.
Just like
I would assume they were like trying to sell them plots.
Yeah,
But
it's pretty messed up.
there's apparently video footage taken on the bus shows the group singing and smiling on their day out. But when they arrived at the, quote, scenic spot, it turned out to be a cemetery. Wonderful.
I like it.
Apparently the tour group has been found to not have been holding the appropriate licenses, and the city government has found to crack down on similar behavior. Nice job.
I kind of wanted to do that kind of scam now.
Okay. Last story I have. Last major story here. Apparently, a Belgian farmer accidentally moved the French border.
I hate it when that happens.
It's terrible. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
The border between France and Belgium is apparently marked out with a series of stone markers that one would assume are not meant to be moved. And the guy apparently did it by accident. So accidentally, apparently, Belgian farmer apparently annoyed by the stone in his tractor's path had it moved further inside the French territory by about 7 feet.
Oof. That's war.
So apparently the stone has been moved back, and that was the end of it.
I wonder if they contacted that farmer or not.
Oh, they did.
Good.
They very much did. Local Belgian authorities plan to contact the farmer to ask him to return the stone to its original location. If that does not happen, the case could end up in the Belgian Foreign Ministry, which would have to summon a Franco-Belgian border commission, dormant since 1930.
You see, this is why I like the U.S. and Canada, because we just settle on the 49th parallel.
Yeah. I would assume at that point that these sorts of border things have some way of marking them that's not actual goddamn stones in the dirt. But apparently not.
I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so this guy was a Belgian farmer, you said?
He was a Belgian farmer that made Belgium technically larger as a result.
He should get the Medal of Honor, and the French should be hunting him down like a pig right now.
Yeah. I have seen some interesting videos talking about borders like this, though, for, if you're trying to measure like the area or volume of something, it's generally pretty easy to do it. But for determining the perimeter of like an island, there's the question of, how fine do you need to take measurements?
Yes.
Right? And depending on when you have a large area, depending how fine your measurements are, how big do you go back and forth along the different indents and changes along the coast, can drastically change the perimeter of how big a place is, how big a border is. So moving a stone like this 7 feet probably doesn't change anything that much any more than just changing calculations would.
Yeah.
I'm curious though. I'm gonna pull up Google Maps real quick. How straight is the border between Belgium and France?
Not that straight. If I remember right, France is like a weird square.
Yeah, that's like all over the damn place.
Yeah.
Like, how would they even know?
How are they even alerted to this in the first place?
I don't get it.
Yeah. Unless they were spying on that farmer. Dun 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 dun.
Let me pick a bit of a random bit here. Yeah, it's all over the damn place. How the hell do they do this with stones? There's no way.
It had to be at the end of a war or something. You see this big rock? This is the border. But how do we know?
These are like carved stones.
They're
apparently.
carved? Okay.
Yeah, like markers.
Interesting.
So very intentional. But and there are some stretches that are very straight and angular, but then there's others that just kind of seem all over the place. Although, let me compare to the German border. Let's see if there's a difference. No.
No.
There's not a difference that I can see in how it's marked, at least on the map here. I don't know. Like, no, because then there's other parts that it's just clearly squiggly and random as hell.
Squiggly is one of my favorite words.
It's a good word.
Isn't it?
Oh, good job, Belgian farmer, for making the news.
Yeah. And almost causing an international incident.
Yeah. let's talk entertainment. Unless you have any more like real news.
Nah.
All right, let's talk entertainment because we got some pretty big Marvel news.
When don't we? I feel like this whole lead up to Black Widow's been like a lot of Marvel stuff coming out like every week.
Yeah. Well, we have Loki first still,
Yes.
but yeah. So yesterday on the I can't remember what it's called. I just had it pulled up. Marvel Entertainment, I think is what it is. Marvel Entertainment's YouTube channel. They released a video looking at starting off looking back at some of Marvel's moments with voiceover by Stan Lee, finishing with the announcement of the official new dates for upcoming Marvel. I think these are all Marvel films that they were showing off, none of the shows.
Okay.
Let me pull it up and check real quick. That sounds right.
I don't think we've had any footage from anything past Loki.
Technically, we have Black Widow. We
I
have a
meant
Black
like
Widow trailer.
TV show wise.
TV show wise, I don't believe so. No.
Yeah.
So they had. Why is this not in order? Marvel Studios celebrates the movies, and let me skip to the end here for the actual dates. They're not gonna make it easy. Well, whatever. Doesn't matter. We have the official dates for pretty much everything, and it's actually pretty specific to when they're gonna be up until like the end of 2022.
Damn.
So let's go through them.
Yes.
Starting off, of course, we still have Loki, which is set to start June 11th of this year. I'm personally pretty excited for that. I'm really interested to see what they do with it.
Yes, I agree.
It would be very curious to know, since the Black Widow movie was supposed to come out before it, and it's now been moved to after, how that might impact what they do. Given what they've shown in some of the trailers.
Yeah.
I don't think it will, but I'm just curious.
I'm curious
So,
because
Loki. Yeah.
the curiosity in me is wondering what is this whole like what's on the table, since they pretty much established that this is not at all going to be like really that canon to the MCU, since it's like Loki messing around with time. I'm just very curious, what is their limit on stuff, because I can see them doing a lot of stupid stuff with this that'd be fun.
I don't know. I think that'll make Loki really interesting because at least compare now that we have the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier and we know how limited its impact is on the greater story, I think there's a good chance that I think Loki has the best chance of having further implications from what we've seen in the trailer so far.
Interesting thing I want to point out, by the way.
Yeah.
There was apparently an original version of the Falcon and Winter Soldier script, right? That was going to have Spider-Man show up in the ending.
That would be fitting, yeah.
Yeah. But Kevin Feige said, no, why would you want to get all these people involved for something that's supposed to be so self-contained?
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. So Loki, then in July we have Black Widow, which seems to be fitting more and more into the idea of it being a flashback kind of thing.
I totally think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What?
So I'm reading some stuff here that is from people who know more than I do, apparently. From the trailer that we do have, the film will apparently tie back into concepts that were briefly explored in Marvel's Agent Carter, where apparently Agent Carter finds the facility where Black Widow was trained at.
Oh.
So it's apparently tying back to that to some degree as Peggy Carter investigates that and then makes some connections between both Nat and another agent of the operation.
You see, this is why I think watching the TV shows would be fun, because, like, I understand they do go into a little more detail than the movies, But at the same time, I don't know I've had time to watch TV shows like that.
Yeah. I I like to binge watch TV shows, but I mean, I like TV shows because it allows them to explore storytelling in a different way than you can in a film, being episodic. But I
Yes,
also don't like waiting, so I tend to wait until the show is already like done before I watch any of it.
fair enough. That's especially been a challenge since these Marvel shows like to come out weekly.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
At the same time, like with WandaVision, it was kind of fun because we all got to theorize on stuff going on.
Yes, there was definitely enough of a break from episode to episode that it fit more. Um, for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it was a bit harder because there was clearly more episode to episode connection. Like episode 4 and episode 5 in that
Yeah,
should realistically run back to back if
really.
you're watching it. It makes it's not that it like makes less sense, but with the structure of the pacing of it, you have a lot of, continually building and building and building action in episode 4, and that building action, in my opinion, peaks at the start of episode 5.
Hmm.
And then the episode 5 kind of slows way down in preparation for the finale in episode 6.
Okay.
So watching them, all three of those episodes together as a kind of like movie, it works out to about 2.5 hours, and I feel like it flows a lot better where you have a sort of first act of rising action to inciting event to second act where it slows down to third act where you get the conclusion.
Yes.
It just kind of fits that typical feel a lot better than it does a actual TV show.
Interesting. I still need to watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely not like required viewing, but it is still good.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I'm kind of, after seeing this most recent one, I'm a bit more mixed on the film. Because I feel like there is some things that they can do with showing off a different side of CG chops that they haven't really had the chance to before. If they can do some really cool shit in terms of, it's not even really CGI, it's more just film work of doing a really good job showing these fight scenes in a creative way. I think that could be enough to carry the rest of the film, even if the rest of it isn't as good.
I agree. What I want from Shang-Chi is you ever see Enter the Dragon?
No.
One
I've heard plenty about it though.
Yeah, it is the greatest martial arts movie I've
Yep.
ever seen.
Yep.
I just want this to be Marvel's tribute to Enter the Dragon. I really
I
want
agree.
just
Yep.
well choreographed, very realistic, very minimum CGI. I know there's probably going to be magic or something like
Oh,
that
yeah.
because it's Marvel and
There
fantasy.
definitely is. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want
But to that extent though, what we've seen in the trailers has looked like that.
yeah.
And I'm hoping they're able to just like really expand on that, sort of in the same way that like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, as movies, are frankly kind of mediocre from writing and production and direction and like kind of everything, but they're made up so much by how good the practical and CGI effects are.
Oh yeah.
They just fit together perfectly to make it feel so much bigger than some of its parts.
Oh yeah. That's
That you can overlook the shitty camera work and the shitty writing.
that's the MCU in general, my dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
For
cohesion.
me, it particularly stands out in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, though.
Oh yeah. I definitely feel I don't know. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 I definitely think is a better movie than the first because it has a more thematic and emotional core to it.
I will say it's a better movie.
Yeah.
I found it less entertaining, though.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. I will give you that cuz like the only thing I really remember in that movie is the whole ego stuff. My personal opinion is that Shang-Chi, this is going to sound bad because I'm a Bruce Lee fanboy, but I just want it to be a good tribute to Bruce Lee. And I just want more practical martial arts movies because those are badass.
Yeah, I think as long as it's a good martial arts movie first,
Yeah.
even if it's not to any particular style, as long as it's just a good movie focused around martial arts first, and then sure, there's some magic shit as well too that helps drive the plot along.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where it needs to be. And then yeah, give Aquafina some fucking one-liners or whatever.
Aquafina.
I don't. Yeah, she's in it.
Okay.
I don't like her style of acting and comedy.
Oh,
I
okay.
get people do, but I don't.
I
So
I never knew it was pronounced that way. I get it now.
yes, it's Aquafina,
Okay. Yep.
like the water bottle.
Yeah, that's what I was a little messed up with. I'm like, there's no way her name's Aquafina.
Yes, it is. I get why people like her,
Yeah.
and she is very unique in her presentation and her comedy.
Yep.
I just don't like it. It's just doesn't work for me. But if the rest of the movie is fine, like they've like that's kind of been the case with a lot of the Marvel movies. There's been plenty of very one note stuff like what the hell's his name? It's an Ant-Man. Michael Pena.
Oh.
I know there's plenty of people that don't like Michael Pena's style of comedy, and his role in Ant-Man is very Michael Pena
Oh yeah.
as a side character. But it's contained as that. As long as that's the same thing as with Aquafina, you know, she can do her comedy stuff, she can do her style, that's fine. It's just she's just doing her thing.
Yeah.
And the rest of the movie carries on its own, it just drives the plot. Who gives a shit, right?
Oh yeah.
So
I'm also excited that the Mandarin's going to be in this movie.
oh, is he?
Yeah. Not the same Mandarin from Iron Man 3,
Oh.
a different Mandarin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I really didn't like I didn't like Iron Man 3 at all.
Yeah.
I've said that before. I'll keep
Um,
saying it until I die. I think Iron Man 3 is I need to rewatch Hulk, but it's not anywhere for like streaming. So I
Yeah.
haven't had the chance to. I know Hulk CGI wise looks like shit just because it's an old CGI film. But I hate knowing what happens with Iron Man in like Avengers and Endgame and how much more important his role becomes.
Yeah.
They just did it so badly.
I kind of agree. Like I feel like
Yeah.
I feel
There's
like
so many cool things they could have done there. They had like such a good hook with the PTSD from the first Avengers movie and him overcoming that. But then I don't know. I don't want to get into it now. I've already done this.
I know.
I'm tired.
My main problem with the phase 2 is they clearly didn't know how they were going to get to Infinity War yet, and there's a lot of stumbling
Yes.
blocks.
Yep.
Yeah. Like they knew they were
Okay.
going to get to Avengers, and then they didn't
Yeah.
realize they were going to get this far.
It's like, wait, oh shit, that worked?
Yeah.
Oh no, we have to make more movies now.
Oh no! Quick, what's for Iron Man 3? The Mandarin? Okay, how are we going to subvert that? Not the Mandarin. Got it.
Not the Mandarin. Yeah, I think that could have. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that looks much more intimidating.
Yeah, I like the Mandarin. He's one of my favorite villains in Marvel. Like underrated villains.
So my only exposure to the Mandarin is in Iron Man 3.
Of course, dude.
So
Yeah. I thought it was a
I'm
really
more than happy to have like a legit villain character.
yeah. Yeah, he's just cool. I like
Mhm.
the Mandarin. He's just like just baller.
Yeah.
I really like this art that they have on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And, like,
After that, November 1st, 2021, we have Eternals. Oh, that's really nice. That's actually cool. Sort of change in the perspective.
yeah. So I'm
Um,
very hyped for I'm hyped for Shang-Chi. I'm gonna probably wait for reviews for it,
Mhm.
but yeah.
Yep. I think I have the feeling that Black Widow is still going to be a bit early. It'll come out in theaters. It'll probably come out on Disney Plus for however the hell they want to do that. And it's probably going to be one of the better movies they have come out on Disney Plus because a lot of places are still not going to have theaters in full swing. I have the feeling by the time we get to September, most places are going to be back open much more fully, particularly entertainment things like theaters.
Yes.
And I could, if it turns out, if they do good, I could see that being a huge late summer hit kind of thing.
Eternals?
Yes. No, Shang-Chi.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I really like Asian culture, so I'm kind of really hyped for a movie all centered around it. You know, Asian American culture, nonetheless.
Yep.
It's in San Francisco, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Ballin'.
I hope they have an homage to which Bond. There was a Bond movie that took place in San Francisco with Christopher Walken as the villain. I would love if there's like a quick sight gag kind of reference thing to that. That'd be funny.
I'm trying to see if they announced the fight coordinator.
So we have Eternals in November 5th, 2021. I know basically nothing about this other than the name.
Um, I know a little bit on the Eternals as a comic book fan, but
Mm-hmm.
I am excited to see this deeper look into cosmic Marvel. Like, so
Yeah.
comic book nerd time. I've always classified Marvel on three different levels. There's the streetwise superheroes, what? Right? Streetwise stuff.
Yep.
That's like your Spider-Man, your Daredevil, your Luke Cage, that kind of stuff. And then there's more international stuff, which is where I would put like the Avengers, Black Panther, and stuff like that. And then I always put cosmic, which is like where Thanos is, Guardians of the Galaxy. Doctor Strange kind of sits
Mm-hmm.
between there and international. Um, but cosmic is like always the craziest place to be in the Marvel like literature. And I'm excited for them to really bring these more crazy cosmic stuff. Like they're bringing Sentinels. I want
Yeah.
Sentinels. Sentinels are fucking cool. Sentinels. I don't know. Am I allowed to say what a Sentinel is on this, or do you think that'd be a spoiler?
I have no idea what a Sentinel is myself, so go ahead.
Sentinels are basically giant space god robots that build the universe.
Sure.
Yeah. Um, they're
I will say, as a more casual Marvel fan,
yeah.
this movie has a fuckload of exposition that they're either gonna have to do all the exposition or nothing.
Yeah.
If they like this is a movie they could very easily half-ass it and just leave people more confused, because I'm skimming through this Rotten Tomatoes thing here, and I kind of get the pieces where they fit together, but like the idea of that, not only do you now have to know who the Eternals are and what their backstory is that gets them to this point, but you also have to know who the Celestials are, and that we've only really had them mentioned once in passing and once also kind of in passing. Like, the guy was a Celestial, but it wasn't really a point that anybody outside of the comics would understand what the hell that means, you know?
Oh, sorry. Mixed up Sentinel with Celestials. Yeah, I meant to say Celestials are
Right.
the big fuck you
Yep.
robots. Yeah.
So we have this idea that this is in both of the Guardians of the Galaxy's movies. We had in the first one the apparently one of the Celestials that was shown in like an image of him wielding one of the Power Stone,
Yeah.
which is just like super in passing. They don't even mention that the guy is a Celestial, just that it's a dude wielding a Power Stone.
Yep.
And then in the entire second Guardians of the Galaxy movie, Quill's father is apparently a Celestial.
Yeah. Again, I'm excited for Celestials. I think they're fucking cool.
It definitely is. I just hope that they do it right.
Yeah. I think that it's been really cool to see them in the background for all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. Yeah. They've got a lot of exposition to do, especially if we're going to the really, really weird stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm
Right. This one has Angelina Jolie in it, apparently.
yes,
That's weird.
isn't it?
As Kumalnia. Like, this has a very interesting cast. I'll put it that way. We have Angelina Jolie, Kamal Nanji, Kit Harington is apparently in some sort of villain role. I really just don't know. It's very confusing.
This is going to either be a big one for the MCU or kind of a bust.
I want it to do well. There's just I'm just gonna wait. We'll see how it goes. I'm very concerned that they're trying to do too much at once. In the same way that like uh Captain Marvel introduced a lot of concepts and didn't explore them too much, particularly with like the Kree and the sort of greater things happening in the universe. Those are they're concepts that are in the film, but they're not the point of the film. The point of the film is Captain America. If we had something a bit more like just the knowledge that the Eternals are a thing
Yeah.
before this, That would be a huge help. And maybe they'll do that in Black Widow or
Maybe.
in Loki.
Yeah.
Hopefully not in Loki, but I could see them doing something in Black Widow or in Shang-Chi, something that helps like take some of the weight off of Eternal's shoulders because it's a lot to do.
I. Yeah.
And it does sound like a lot of really cool concepts.
Oh yeah. What? How do I put this? I do want to share this one image of one of my favorite panels in the comics of two Celestials
Sure.
fighting. So just giant fuck you robot fight.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Beautiful.
Clang. That's so anticlimactic of a noise.
Yeah.
Oh, so was the thing in Thor 1 supposed to be one of those, but small?
Oh, the destroyer armor?
Yeah, it looks very similar.
Let's check, shall we?
And maybe it's just like maybe it's just based on it. Like, oh, look at these things, we'll make our own, and then it's just a small shitty version of it, you know?
Yeah.
I could see that.
It could be. I'm reading up on it right now. Yes.
Okay. Because like the mostly the face mask parts of it are visually very similar.
Yeah. I'm kind of okay. Celestials definitely had something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was made to fight Celestials.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah.
Okay. After Eternals, we have the holiday release, Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Do we want to talk about what Andrew Garfield said about this?
I think we can without because it doesn't really give anything away. It
Yeah.
just says what won't happen. You know, we
So
still don't know what does happen.
yeah. Uh, everybody's been crying out that this movie's going to have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in it in like some kind of supportive role, as their respective Spider-Men. But Andrew Garfield is on record saying he is not in the movie.
Yep. So there's a lot of people who are very much itching at the multiverse concept.
Mm-hmm.
And the next film does literally have that in its title, but and I do think it's pretty likely in the same way that, you know, if you have Shang-Chi that has, say there's an Eternal in Shang-Chi, you don't need to like establish what the Eternals are, just that they are a thing. And
Yeah.
then you have that character come back for the Eternals movie as a sort of like an anchoring point. I wouldn't be surprised if multiverse stuff does get introduced in Spider-Man: No Way Home and then is expanded in the next movie, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That would just be a good way of, you know, easing people into these pretty high fantasy concepts.
I mean, we do have Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx supposedly coming into the movie as their respective characters, so
Yep. Yep.
it's a possibility, my dude.
I will be very curious to see how they handle it. Because it could be very cool, it could be very cringy.
Yeah.
I hope it's cool. I want it to be cool.
I have high hopes for it. I was personally one of the few people that was very against the other Spider-Man showing up in this movie. On the grounds that I want this to be Tom Holland's thing, and if we get a dedicated live-action Spider-Verse thing, I'd rather we just get it up front, knowing that, and like.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
I think when I think they have to kind of give the game away when they show the first trailer for it. Once we have that, like, it'll either be the kind of trailer where they tell us literally nothing other than the date and that Tom Holland's still in it, or it'll give the game away and we'll know what's going to happen.
Yeah, for me, people complain that Iron Man is too much of a focus about Tom Holland's like movies. And like I kind of understand that, but you think adding fucking Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield to be like in the movie, taking attention away from him, is going to fix that?
Yeah, it's not the answer.
No, it's
not.
not.
I will say though, bringing back the old villains is a cool idea.
Oh yeah, I do like that idea.
And it does give a really good chance from a like a writing and an acting perspective to put the current Spider-Man in the same position as the past Spider-Man and show how they handle the situations differently.
100%.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally, I think Tom Holland's not a bad Spider-Man.
No, I'm of the opinion that Tom Holland is currently the best Spider-Man we've seen.
I think he's a
Like,
better. Okay,
maybe he's not the best Spider-Man, but I think he's the best actor that we've had play Spider-Man.
if I'm going to be honest, I think he's had the best growth as a Spider-Man. I think he's an actual
Yeah.
character, where Tobey Maguire's
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man was kind of
Tobey Maguire.
after Uncle Ben dies, he gets like only. And I'm not saying the Raimi movies are bad. I fucking love the Raimi movies.
Oh no, the Raimi movies are very good
Yeah,
for the most part.
I just think Tom's Spider-Man has had more time to develop.
Yep,
Yeah.
I agree.
Um, like when you look at, and it's because he's had more movies too, and he's been through a lot more. If you look at Tobey Maguire's
I
Spider-Man,
guess so, yeah.
yeah, his first movie is all about making that transition to being Spider-Man. Then after that, he's like, I don't want to be Spider-Man. Third movie's like, what's the deal with him in the third movie? Technically, because all he has to do is worry about vengeance and whatnot.
Yeah, that's the third movie's not the greatest. It's got some good memes that have come out of it,
Yeah,
but from an actual movie perspective, it's not that good.
exactly. And I'm just saying, with like Tom Holland Spider-Man, you have the gauntlet of him kind of having to rise to the occasion in Homecoming.
Yeah.
Dealing with the death of Tony. There's the occasion of like, having died and coming back to
Mhm.
life, which is kind of fucked up. I'm still scarred in the theater of seeing my childhood hero die on the screen.
Yeah.
And especially what else is there? Having his identity taken out there. That's something we've never seen a Spider-Man movie do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, of course, he's had more time to develop as a character because of all these movies he's in, but it's still a very. He also has more relationships too, but that's because of the bigger cast of the MCU. It's still a very good breath of fresh air where he's more dynamic as opposed to Toby, who Toby has nothing wrong with him. It's just that Holland definitely has more going on, and he may not be what everybody wants, but at least I'm more engaged with his Spider-Man as a character than Toby's idealized version of Spider-Man.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. And don't get me started on Garfield.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah,
did
that was just full of mistakes.
they did my man dirty.
They did.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next one.
Yes.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
This is the movie I want the most.
It will be very interesting.
I mean, you have Sam Raimi going to do a horror superhero movie.
Speaking of fucking Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah.
The cast is really interesting too, because we have the the usual suspects from the last Doctor Strange film with of course Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch, Benedict Wong as Wong, and Chiwetel Ejiofor as Mordo. But
Yes.
we also have some new faces being brought into the mix.
Yes.
Notably, Scarlet Witch, played by Elizabeth Olsen.
I'm excited.
I am too. And I had to look this up because I was not familiar with this character, but apparently a character named Miss America is in this as well.
You mean American Chavez?
Yeah, that's what it says here.
Yeah.
America Chavez, Miss America.
Yeah. I don't know much about her in the comics, to be honest. She's a newer character.
Yep.
I'm excited to see what happens.
I am too. I have no idea how that ties into the, Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch stories, but we'll see how it goes, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna dog on it yet. We haven't seen anything from it.
We haven't, and I'm really excited to see Chiwetel Ejiofor come into this and
Who-
do a bigger role.
Who is it? Who are they playing?
Mordo.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He
Mordo
in
was done
the-
dirty.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I really like Chiwetel Ejiofor as an actor.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of the stuff that he's done, and he's always just very talented. So he had a really relatively small role in the last Doctor Strange movie. So seeing him be more at the forefront, I like.
Yeah. From my perspective as a fan, I think Doctor Strange works the best when he's in weird situations. and
Hmm.
literally putting him in a multiverse of madness. Sounds amazing.
Yes.
Um, Big facts. I think Tobey Maguire should come back for this one because one, Sam Raimi, two, multiverse, three, I think that'd be just a fun callback.
Yeah. And you could have a really fun moment of, Doctor Strange comes up on Tobey Maguire and just like, who the hell are you? And he's like, I'm Spider-Man. And he's just like, no, you aren't. That kind of thing. I think there's some fun stuff you could have with that idea.
Bitch, my Spider-Man can barely grow a beard. Although I do know Doctor Strange is supposed to be in this new Spider-Man movie as well, so
Yep.
there's a little thematic parallel there. If you want to put Toby in Multiverse of Madness, I'm just saying, be kind of cool.
Yeah.
What do we have after that?
After that, Thor: Love and Thunder, May 6th, 2022. Is this the fourth Thor movie?
Yes,
It is, isn't it? Like the act. This is. I think this is the first time we're actually getting a fourth named film for a character.
yes,
Because both Iron Man and Captain America both only had three.
yeah. Um, I'm excited for it. I think they're doing the God Butcher, so I'm excited for that storyline.
They're bringing back Natalie Portman though,
Yeah, as female Thor.
but it's Natalie Portman.
I
She's really annoying.
Is she? Do you really not like Natalie Portman?
I don't like her. I really didn't like her in Thor 1. And I think the best decision they made in the later Thor movies was cutting her out. Like, I like the dynamic between Thor and having, a human love interest.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I don't like Natalie Portman, though. I did not like Natalie Portman in that role.
Okay.
She just came off as kind of, especially in Thor 2, it was just not a great performance, I guess. Like, what all has she been in? Let me pull this up.
My biggest problem
I can't
with her,
remember off the top of my head.
this is
honestly.
like my biggest problem with all the Thor movies except for Ragnarok.
Yep.
No one has anything to fucking do except for Thor and Loki in
Yep.
the first two Thor movies. Like the supporting cast is just there. And
Like the big stuff that she's been in is like the Star Wars movies and then the Avengers movies. And she was in V for Vendetta. She was in Black Swan. I personally don't care about either of those.
wasn't she also in like some hipster movie?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
She's been in plenty of stuff. She's apparently in Heat.
Heat?
I don't know. Yeah.
Interesting.
Plenty of other smaller stuff. Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium. That classic.
Oh man, that's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
Does
Who
anybody even
could
remember that
forget
movie?
it?
Yeah.
No.
I don't remember anything about that movie.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
It looked terrible.
Yeah, it did.
2007. Oh no, it means the CGI is bad too.
Oh no. Yo, when's that getting the reboot?
Review. God, never, hopefully. It is a 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb. That's higher than I thought.
I was expecting a 4.
38% on Rotten Tomatoes. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I would not. Okay, I will say that Natalie Portman's Jane Foster as her own character is probably better than as basically Thor's girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I will hold out for that. Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie. I think she's fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Very happy to see her returning.
She, I know she wasn't Thor's love interest by any means, but she
Mhm.
had better chemistry with Thor.
She did, and she just the
Yeah.
character of Valkyrie just felt like such a more whole character compared to Jane Foster.
Well, she also had like
And I think part of that's probably the writing because the first two Thor movies, like the second Thor movie, is pretty notoriously just bad. And
Yeah.
the first Thor movie, in hindsight, isn't that good either. So there's probably a that being a large factor on given those are the only two movies she was really in. But I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean,
Christian Bale in the MCU, that's cool.
I think he's
Not
going to
get
be the
his
villain.
face, but he's Gore.
Yeah, Gore the God Butcher. Oh shit, they're doing God Butcher. Yes.
Yeah, but just looking at some of the comic stuff, we probably won't get to actually see Christian Bale.
Oh yeah, no. There's gonna be a lot of
So,
makeup.
yeah. But yeah,
You know what's something
Thor
I would
gets a fourth movie.
you know what I really want out of Phase 4?
What's that?
The most out of nowhere thing that would make me flip shit if they put in the Silver Surfer as a cameo in one of the movies.
That'd be cool.
That'd be so cool. Like Eternals? Cause fucking
Yeah.
cosmic shit, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic Four are coming. They have the Silver Surfer in their bank. Please do my boy Norrin some justice. Thank you, Disney.
Mm-hmm. Following Thor, we have one of the more exciting, I think, announcements that took place for this Marvel Studios Celebrates the Movies. We have the official title for the next Black Panther film. It is
Yes.
Black Panther Wakanda Forever, July 8th, 2022. Not a ton known about it yet. It's a long way out. It is written and directed by Ryan Coogler. That's about all we know, and it will apparently explore the incomparable world of Wakanda.
Yeah.
So, in an article they published back in 2020, December 10th, 2020, Marvel Studios film was on Marvel's website. It will apparently be honoring Chadwick Boseman's legacy and portrayal of King T'Challa. That's like basically all we have to know about it so far.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
I like the idea of this being a film about like the unity of Wakanda. You know, that's kind of what I get since that's like their whole motto of the country.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I like
There's definitely a lot of cool ways they could take it.
Oh yeah. Wakanda is a very cool setting. And like it's got so much culture. It's one of the most fleshed out places in the MCU. You know, besides like New York, but we all know how New York works. Like in terms of like the fantasy aspects, Wakanda is just a cool idea that I want to see fleshed out even more. Very curious who the main character is going to be since Boseman is not going to be around.
Yep, I wouldn't be surprised if I can't remember her name now. 1 second, sorry, I can look this up really quickly. Let me skim because she just had a piece on Marvel's YouTube channel. Dora Milaje, the head of the Dora Milaje. I can't remember her name though. Oh, that's gonna bug me. Basically plays as T'Challa's like right-hand woman in this case.
Yeah.
In Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they move her into a more prominent, at least they give the appearance that she's sort of in the absence of T'Challa and following the blip, that she has stepped into a more prominent role in terms of being on sort of the front line of the Wakandans.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised if they push her into that sort of leading position. I think she'd fit really well. Her portrayal, her what she did in Falcon and the Winter Soldier was very good, as brief as it was.
Oh, she was in it?
Yes, she was.
Badass.
She actually, they have a this is like minor spoilers, but Bucky has had his Winter Soldier training broken from him.
Okay.
Thanks to assistance from the Wakandans, specifically her.
Awesome.
So that is the sort of side role that she has, and she comes in later after the events start to unfold to try get a handle on them and their sort of own way.
I mean, is she...
I will say this, the Dora Milaje kicked new Captain America's ass.
Really? Wait, U.S. agent?
No, he's still Captain America.
Really? They haven't changed his name yet?
It's no, I'm not trying to give spoilers.
Damn.
Yes, they do.
Okay, good.
They do. He becomes U.S. agent at the very end. But before he takes the serum, he's just regular military dude playing Captain America like a child. He gets his ass handed to him.
Good.
Okay. The Marvels, November 11, 2022. Has, of course, Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, Teyana Paris playing Monica Rambeau, and new to the MCU, Imam Vellani playing Kamala Khan.
Yes, I am interested. I want to see more before I get hyped.
I haven't liked Captain Marvel's portrayal so far.
Yeah.
I did like Monica Rambeau a
Yes.
lot more from a
She.
writing side. So we'll have to. I'm interested to see where they go with it.
What I want is I hope this whole the Marvels aspect of it, because I'm
Yep.
guessing Monica Rambeau is going to be Blue Marvel, Kamala Khan's going to be Ms. Marvel.
Yes.
Is I
Yep.
want Brie Larson's Captain Marvel to be developed through her relationship with these two other superheroes
I
who
would hope so.
who
'Cause
clearly
she's
look up
kind
to
of.
her. You.
She just seems like she comes off as kind of an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, like, she's cocky. That's part of her character.
Yeah, but like to that extent, I mean, come on.
I know it can be
I
kind of
hope that the
snobbish.
events. I do hope that the events of Endgame help to like take her down a notch in the same way that Thor was taken down a notch after he lost to Thanos.
Yes.
She did lose in her fight to Thanos one-on-one as well. And I kind of hope that there's a similar development of her character away from being just so brazenly cocky all the time.
Yeah, I would like her humbled a little bit.
Mhm.
But I really just like the idea of developing her through these two these two
Yep.
characters who look up to her as a mentor.
Yep.
I do love that idea of her being a mentor figure.
I agree.
Yeah. Especially since my girl Kamala Khan's going to be in it, and Kamala Khan's one of my,
Right?
she's a good character. I like her.
Hopefully they do better than the damn video game.
Oh, was the video game version of her bad?
No, just the video game.
Okay.
The whole game was bad.
Okay.
Not just her specifically. It was everyone.
Okay, because like her whole thing in the comics is she's like a big geek for this kind of stuff, and she's fun to watch
Yep.
because of that.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
the Marvel. I remember what it was called. The Marvel game was just really, really bad from a technical standpoint. It
Right.
completely overshadowed any kind of good story that they had because it was at many times unplayable.
Fair enough. Shout outs to my
Okay.
girl Kamala Khan.
Mm-hmm. So I want to point out real quick.
Yeah.
There's a noticeable gap in films at this point. They don't have a winter holiday release for 2022. Not yet, at least. And that seems suspicious to me
They never had
because,
that
like,
before.
well, I mean, it's like clockwork. Every single time they have a December release for the holidays, of course.
Yeah.
So, notable absence. After the Marvels, so far, 2023, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp. I hate this title. Quantumania.
Yeah.
I hate this title so much.
Yo, it's bad.
So this, of course, has Paul Rudd reprising Ant-Man, Evangeline Lilly as Wasp, with Kang the Conqueror, played by Jonathan Majors.
You see, the thing with that is I'm led to believe that the holiday release is going to be Fantastic Four because Kang is a hard person to put into the MCU without the Fantastic Four.
So, have you seen that is confirmed?
What?
The
That?
Fantastic Four?
Yeah, I've known.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been working on that thing since they bought the rights.
I didn't. I was really hoping that instead of it being Fantastic Four, this was supposed to be like Avengers 4 because it kind of looks like the Avengers A, how they've had it stylized.
Okay.
I was just like, oh yeah, Avengers 4. And I was just like, oh no, it's just Fantastic Four. Okay.
My boy, you can't dog the four like that.
I want it to be good. I don't want any of these to be bad, but history is working against you here.
Did you like The Incredibles?
Yeah, of course. Who
You'll like Fantastic Four then. Like
No,
a good rendition.
They had it. That's my point. It has to be a good version of it. We
Yeah, I know.
haven't had that yet.
I
We haven't
know.
had that yet.
I know.
want it to be good. I wouldn't be surprised if they do push a Fantastic Four movie as the December. Oh, I don't know though, because there's so much in the movie sphere, in the casual viewers. There's so much bad aura, energy around it from the last pile of shit that had the name on it.
But
I don't know if they would push it as a holiday film, as the big holiday film.
That's a good point. Fan Four Stick was a piece of shit.
Like, compare it to what they have for summer of 2022. Summer 2022 is Thor 4 and Black Panther 2.
Yeah.
So you'd think that their winter release for that year would be just as big as that. And it's going to be Fantastic Four. I don't know. I feel like the one thing that the Marvel movies have done better than anything else is shown that the best way to do an ensemble sort of film is to put in the legwork first to make people give a shit about the individuals that make up that ensemble.
Yes.
That's where DC has stumbled. I think that's one of the reasons why the original Fantastic Four stumbled, because no one gave a shit about any of the individuals in it, because you're trying to force someone to learn about 4 people at once, plus the actual greater plot.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons I'm concerned for the Eternals, and I'm not concerned for the Marvels, because for the Marvels, we've already been shown 2 of the 3 people. For the Eternals, we're getting, in their own words, where the fuck is it? An exciting new team of superheroes. That's great. I don't know any of them. Why should I give a shit?
You're not wrong.
So I
Yeah.
hope I'm wrong, but they're going against the grain of what they themselves proved to be the right way to do this kind of shit, if that's what they do.
I do understand it.
That's my rant for the day. I'll be quiet.
Yeah, thank you. Counterposition.
Yes.
I have faith, at least, that they'll do the Fantastic Four right, because honestly, I just have faith in Marvel Studios, especially since they own these IPs, literally.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be honest, what gives me the most faith is that they brought the comic back. So, like, after Fan Four Stick being so bad, they actually killed off the Fantastic Four in the fucking comics.
Oh yeah, no, I believe it.
Yeah.
That was so bad.
They actually wrote like a series finale for them, but they literally stopped the whole book. They had a whole series ending event to give them out like a send off. And then no Fantastic Four until the rights were bought back. So
I love that if you type fan, it comes up with Fantastic Four for the movie. If you do type fan 4, it comes up with fan 4 stick, fan 4, Fantastic Four.
oh my, Google,
Like, Google knows.
Google knows
how unpopular this is.
Yeah.
9% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's really bad.
I still need to watch it.
Oh man,
You know what I hate the most about this movie?
what's that?
It's not the, like, it's the Thing. The Thing is just not done right.
Well, I haven't seen it in like since it came out,
Yeah.
but I remember there being more than one thing wrong with it. It's not like just the Thing or just this actor's portrayal. It's like there's a systemic problem from like a direction level.
Like-
Okay, the Thing's pretty bad, I'll be honest.
Like, look at him. He's, you know what?
It's Korg. What do you mean?
Yeah, it does look like
my
Korg,
God, what if
doesn't it?
Korg turns out to be the Thing?
Oh God, they just paint him orange.
No,
Yo,
they just keep him as Korg. I would be all in for that if it's like a full bait and switch. Where it's like we get Korg, we get Black Widow, when we get Paul Rudd. And I don't know who the hell they get to be the Human Torch.
Chris
They
Evans
light
again.
Rocket Raccoon on fire and call him Charmander. Who gives a shit?
oh shit.
Chris Evans again. Yes. That'd be hilarious.
No, they just have
I would
old
love if that
Chris
was like
Evans.
that should be a post-credit scene. That
Yeah.
should just be a post-credit scene in one of the
Yes.
other movies.
You know what I really hate about Fan Four Stick Thing? And this is going to be like the most petty thing ever. I don't like that they give him pants. He has no pants. And
You're not wrong.
And in this essay, welcome to my TED Talk, I will tell you why it's important for the Thing to have a fucking pants. The Thing, Ben Grimm.
Where's your dick?
Where's your dick? Yeah. How are you going to get into
That's the
clobber in
essay.
time without the clobberer itself? No.
It just looks so awkward.
Yeah. It looks like a mannequin. He's just got like the soft bulge. But like,
Yeah, the CG does look really bad though.
Yeah.
For him particularly.
Ben Grimm as a character is supposed to be this man who looks disgusting, absolutely horrific, that people run away
they
from.
nailed
him.
that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What I don't like is they also gave him like the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles nose.
They did, yeah.
Like they took one of the Ninja Turtle like models and added a rock texture over it.
Basically.
But like he's supposed to be this man with this heart of gold. He is absolutely like the most darling man you're supposed to ever meet, and he looks hideous. He's supposed to be like a Frankenstein's monster kind of deal. where, you know, gentle giant. And like when you don't give the man pants, it dehumanizes him. And he's supposed to be like the most human person of them all. And that's fucked up to me that they would do my man dirty like that.
Yep.
Yes. And that's why the Fan Four Stick fails at the most basic understanding of these characters. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I am having a good time now skimming through some of these reviews, these old reviews.
Oh, God.
One of these is someone who gave it a 1 star. This is an audience review. They gave it a 1-star review, and one of their positives for it was Victor Von Doom killing in the hall. People in the hallway looked creepy and not that bad. That's a positive.
This was before we even had Schmoes, so we never got to review this movie.
No, we didn't. This is a pre-Schmoes film.
Yeah. Like,
I think
okay,
we'll need to watch it and come back to it because holy shit.
I also hate this art right here with the three of them like separated from Ben. One, they're supposed to be a family unit. Two,
I will say I don't know why they did that.
Yeah.
And it also shows because this is the poster for it, which is clearly the exact same art, just like squished the layers on top of each other.
yeah,
Why would you do that?
yeah. I don't like that they also made his like. I mean, they obviously didn't bother texturing the bottom of his body because, like, the original poster, they're supposed to be in front of him.
Yep.
But when you have him separate from this and you see, like, it looks like a giant sensor bar. Like, they're trying to hide his dick.
Okay. The other thing with this movie, and we'll need to rewatch this to know. I remember the CGI being particularly bad in general.
Yes.
And looking through some of the pictures here of the Human Torch, particularly, it doesn't look like the Human Torch as much as they just did a lot of scenes where they lit a guy on fire and had him do acting. If you know what I mean?
Yes.
It looks like they actually just lit a guy on fire. And if it is CGI, it's very realistic fire CGI, but that's also not what the Human Torch generally looks like.
No.
Censored.
They also did Doom dirty in this movie, and I mean, that's a different story for a different time because I don't think that we've had a single good Doom.
Miles, I think one of the other problems is that, like, I mean, no offense to Miles Teller, apparently, but he does not look like a Mr. Fantastic.
No, he doesn't.
He looks like a dorky kid.
He looks like a cosplay.
Yes, it looks like someone cosplaying Mr. Fantastic. Absolutely.
Yes.
Like, look at this picture you just sent me.
Yeah.
Look at that costume he's wearing. It looks like he's got a t-shirt on, and that's it.
It's like, okay, I also want to point out the lighting is really bad on the Thing because he doesn't look like he's in the same room as Miles Teller there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not because he's CG'd.
Yeah. The shadows are way too bright. Like, the shadows are much harder on Miles Teller compared to the Thing because I guess they want to just get their money's worth out of this model.
I will say, this is remarkable. He has somehow been in not one, but 2 worse films than Fantastic Fours.
No way.
He was apparently in 2016, same year actually, a comedy called Get a Job that ended up with a 5%. And he was in the Divergent series Allegiant, which technically has an 11%, but it has a worse, like everything else.
I love this picture right here because it looks like the Thing is about to clobber them.
Well, it's clobbering. It does. It looks like he's in mid-swing. Like, honestly, if I saw that guy, I saw his face, and he's just like, yeah, I'm Mr. Fantastic, I'd do the same thing.
He looks too young. I'm sorry, but
Yes. No, that's exactly my point. He looks like a child.
yeah. I know they were trying to do
like a child in a costume.
He wanted to do like a whole like cinematic universe based off this version, but you can't.
It'll work.
No, Reed is an accomplished scientist who spent his whole life working. He's not like some fucking grad kid. This looks like Reed Richards.
I think he's also cross-eyed. And oh yeah, no, that's way better.
Yeah.
Is that like from sneak peeks at the upcoming stuff they're doing?
No, that's just a
Or is
fan
that just-
casting.
Oh,
Yeah, fans like
that's way better.
did a Photoshop of who they want to be Reed Richards.
Is it the same? So you can't really see it in either of the pictures that we have there.
Yeah.
But if you get one, it's not gonna let me copy it. I will screen snip this. If you get one that is a little bit more zoomed in, he's actually cross-eyed in that poster.
No way. Oh my god, you're right.
Like very obviously cross-eyed. And I don't know why. Like none of the other ones are. Michael B. Jordan playing, Human Torch is in the exact same pose, basically, faces centered in the same way. So it's not like it's just a weird head-on angle. It's like they composed the poster from two different pictures and then just didn't fix his eyes. I don't know.
I
It
think
looks
it's a
very
copy
bad.
paste of his eye.
It kind of looks like it. It's just like it's very unsettling.
Like if you cover up half his face, it looks like he's looking directly at you. But then like you take off the other half, he's cross-eyed.
Yeah.
This is just a bad Photoshop.
Yep, I think so. I think the whole poster is just a bad Photoshop.
Really? I couldn't tell with the giant brick man behind them.
Okay, moving on. We're talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I don't know about Kang at all.
Um
Let me check his page here. He's purple.
his whole
Isn't he just
deal
Doom
is that
Purple
he's
Dude?
supposed to be Reed Richards' grandson from like way, way, way in the future.
Who?
Reed Richards?
Yeah, I don't know who
Grandson?
that is. Isn't
Mr.
Reed
Fantastic.
Richards. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I guess so. Okay, I'll say I could see them doing it the other way around because now that we have time shenanigans with Ant-Man specifically,
Yeah.
I could see them pulling Kang in, and then he kicks everyone's ass or whatever. I don't know what he does, but I could see how that could tie into sort of backwards into the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Like they're like, we gotta stop whoever, we gotta stop this guy from being born. And who do they look and see? Oh, he has a relative. Who is it? This Reed Richards guy. What's he up to?
Following that, this is all very speculative at this point. We have Guardians of the Galaxy 3 scheduled for May 5th, 2023. So literally 2 years. Per their description here, James Gunn is literally still in the writing of this movie. So they're not even to the point of shooting it yet.
Yes.
Very far out film-wise. They have our ragtag bunch of space misfits, and they forgot to hyperlink the R in ragtag.
Ooh.
Big oof. But it's another Guardians movie that presumably Thor's going to be there too.
I mean, I don't mind the idea of Thor tagging along.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I kind of do, because Thor is just like so much more powerful than any of the Guardians.
oh yeah, they're literally hanging out with a god.
It feels kind of like cheating.
When
Like
you
think about
overload.
the issues that they were dealing with before this.
Oh yeah.
Think about how much easier any of them would have been if they had Thor.
Literally, there'd be no like dance battle to
Like
save the universe.
Guardians 1
Yeah.
would have been 10 minutes long.
Oh yeah.
So I'm hoping that because we're getting a Thor movie before then, maybe Thor won't necessarily be with the like maybe he's with the Guardians at the start of Thor Love and Thunder, and then whatever happens in Love and Thunder forces him to leave and go back to being with the Asgardians.
I did hear that there's supposed to be a cameo in there, but that's all I got.
Yeah, cameo stuff, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But having Thor be like an integral main character of a Guardians film, it's like it kind of overshadows the point.
Yeah.
You're not ragtag when you have a literal god in your back pocket.
I mean, they're just at that point in the JRPG where one of the characters that are really over-leveled showed up.
How'd you get through that boss fight? I can't believe you have him as your companion. I just kept swinging and it kept working.
Thor is their DPS tank and healer.
Yes. Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
when your older brother who's been playing the game longer than you joins.
Have you seen? Oh man, the comics of the. I can't remember who it is. There's so many of those same ideas. Brutus and Pixie is one that I like, with the dog that was in like Iraq as like a bomb dog,
Oh
and
yes.
it the his handler ends up retiring, and dog does too, and stays with the family. And there's a tiny little kitten.
Yes.
Comics are called Brutus and Pixie. They're amazing.
They're adorable.
I'm looking this up. How is that not higher? Brutus and Pixie. Highly recommend them. They're on Webtoon apparently. That's good.
Don't they have like a lot of merch too?
Probably. I hope so.
Yeah, I think they're like in the Sarah Anderson pantheon of webcomics.
Who is the artist? Is it Sarah Anderson? I don't think it is.
No, I
But I
don't
know what you
believe so.
mean.
Yeah.
It should be on the Webtoon page. Like, what the fuck are you doing, line? You have one job. Excuse me.
You were excused.
Okay, goodbye.
Oh, okay. Well, everybody,
Where the hell is this? All right, well, I can't find like the actual artist for these, and it's kind of frustrating.
I mean, that sounds about right.
It's illustrated by Ben Head. I know he doesn't go by that though. He has another name that he goes by.
Ben Hur?
No. Anyways,
Do we have any other Marvel stuff?
not that I know of.
Okay. Well,
That is all we have from this big announcement, though.
I mean, that was a big announcement.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shit there. A lot of good stuff getting confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's still on top of that all of the TV made for TV stuff that they're still doing.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, there's still a lot.
Well, I mean, Ms. Marvel's getting her own show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, oh, did you hear about Kevin Feige's interview about WandaVision?
I have not. No.
Apparently, Doctor Strange was going to be in the original draft.
Hmm.
The idea is
I could see it.
he was going to be the one that sent those commercials through the screen to try and get in contact with Wanda.
Oh, that'd be a cool idea.
Yeah. They never fully explained those, by the way.
No,
No.
I think they can just sort of be written off as like a byproduct of Wanda's subconscious kind of control, you know?
Yeah.
We did have a movie that came out this week. Let's see if I can find it. I'm actually not seeing it.
Which one is it?
The Tom Clancy Prime film.
Oh. Because
Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. It's doing not great, but Has Michael B. Jordan. He is a pretty talented actor. It seems like I was watching the Angry Joe review for it, the spoiler-free part of it, and it seems like it's pretty good up until the last act when the pacing gets kind of screwed.
Okay.
So.
I saw a movie for once this week.
Oh yeah, what's that?
The Mitchells versus the Machines.
Oh yes, how I have vaguely heard of that.
Yes, and I'm here to preach the good word of this film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was pretty damn good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is the birth of a
What-
new genre of film, I would call.
What happens?
So, the film is about the Mitchells, a family from Kentwood, Michigan, which is interesting to me because I only live 2 miles away from Kentwood.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually recognized a lot of the Easter eggs in this. As they are going to drop off their eldest daughter, Katie, to film school on a family road trip, a big tech company has a robot AI evolution and revolution that basically causes the robot apocalypse, and the Mitchells now have to take this family vacation to save the world. It is incredibly funny, and I think it is the birth of the shitpost movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, it is so like
So I'll say I get Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs vibes from it,
I think it's
from the
actually by the
trailers.
same people.
Is the animation looks similar, but the sort of pacing and dynamics of it sort of fit that random-ish feeling.
It it does have a very random sense of humor. Um One of
Mm-hmm.
my favorite things about this movie is that the daughter Katie, who is pretty much our main character, she wants to be a special effects artist, and the way she sees the world is through special effects. So whenever she's
Yeah.
doing something that she's particularly interested in, she has all these little hand drawn animations going on around her of how she's visualizing the world with special effects. And it gets really fucking wild. How she sees the world. There's like a part where they jump over a ramp with their car, and it just
Mm-hmm.
hangs there for like a solid 10 seconds while a whole bunch of stupid animations start flying of like them celebrating how cool of a moment it is.
Cool.
Yeah. My main complaint with the movie is that it's like two movies smashed on top of one,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense that it is this amazing shitpost of a film where it can do anything it wants and it makes logical sense. It's hilarious. But then you have like this very family road trip movie on top of it, and it feels very compelled to hit the major beats of the film, so you can kind of see like it go paint by numbers at
Right.
times. Yeah. Like, it's the third act because there's the big third act we're sad now scene, or you know, there's the comedic the daughter and dad don't fully understand each other debacle. But overall, it's a very solid film.
How much does the animation in the film compare to the promo stuff?
I think it's better.
Does it keep the same style?
Yeah,
Okay, that's good. That's curious
yeah,
because the promo images look like they were made for being stills. If you know what I mean. So if they're
yes.
able to translate that well into animation, then it should look really good.
It really does have this
Mm-hmm.
beautiful animation to it.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. Wolfwalkers did the same thing, and just if you can do it well, it just looks so cool.
yeah, like here's a picture that I noticed directly from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it in the Discord chat. It's part of the Robot
There you go.
Uprising. That is an actual still from the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yep, I was looking at that. Let me get it in. Where is it? Yeah. And it does keep that very intentionally hand drawn look to it.
yeah. One of my
It
favorite.
doesn't look animated, even though it kind of is.
Um, it's got a very snarky sense of humor to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I relate to its sense of humor. One of my favorite things about this film is the color design. So let me just show you right now this photo of the family. Right,
Yep.
every family member has a distinct color. So the dad is yellow, the daughter's red, the mother's purple, and the son is blue.
Yep.
Purple is red and blue combined, so her kids are a combination of her. But
Mm.
purple's complementary color is yellow, which is her
Yep.
husband.
Clover.
Yeah, it's adorable. Love that kind of stuff.
I will say, I don't like the dog.
Really.
I am incredibly tired of the look at the cute, quirky, zany, comedic relief side pet slash character kind of shit.
Um,
It peaked with Mushu in like whenever the hell Mulan came out,
yeah.
and everything since then has just felt kind of cheap. For me.
Well, I've got news for you because that dog is a major plot point.
Oh, great.
The way that they can defeat the machines is that they have a glitch where they can't recognize a pug. They constantly have to, like, the machines try to identify it as a dog or a pig, and then they keep going back and forth in a glitch of trying to figure this out until they short circuit and land on loaf of bread until the dog starts winking or moving, and then they just glitch out.
Wonderful.
I know. That dog is also voiced by Doug the Pug.
How fitting.
I know.
Is that like an actual pug or something?
Doug the Pug?
Or is it just a person I'm not familiar with?
Doug the Pug is one of those e-celebrity pets.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Celebrity dog. No,
Yes.
there is no such thing. There are just people who put their pets on social media.
I know.
The biggest problem I have with this kind of shit is that it's all just painfully cringy. Everything they post is predictable and feels manufactured because it is.
Oh yeah, no. I'm guaranteed they probably focus group all their posts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, it's May the 4th as we are recording this. Look at what Doug posted.
Yep.
It's a Yoda outfit.
It's a Yoda. No, I'm shocked it's not a baby Yoda outfit.
Oh shit, is it Baby Yoda? Let's see.
No, it's not. It has little gray around the ears.
Oh yeah, you're right. My bad. Okay. Um
I
yeah.
will say though, like, so for me, seeing something like this is the same as seeing like one of the Paul brothers in a movie,
Yeah.
in an otherwise serious movie. Like there are legitimately professional animals in film and animation. I've seen some really cool shit with mocap for trained cats. That is really cool. Seeing how they have to go through the process of like actually getting the pets, the animals set up with the mocap equipment on them, with the tracking dots and like body suit type things that they have to do, and then actually going through the process of working with the animals in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, there's a a pug on Twitter that has 2.6 million followers, so, you know, fuck it. That's free advertising, right?
Pretty much, man. I mean, it really doesn't matter that much because the dog only has like a couple like non really important like vocal parts.
Yeah.
It's literally just like Wolf once.
Yep.
Yeah. The dog does have a bit of a character arc though. Like the family's trying to train it so it can look straight and not be cross-eyed all the time.
Right.
And that is also a plot point of the movie. Um otherwise, I think it's a really solid family film. Um the Furbies in the movie are probably the best part.
Are they?
Yeah.
I have, I think, heard that.
Yes. The Furbies are easily my favorite part of this, especially when the giant Furby elder shows up. Because all they do is have this Furby elder say really dark, messed up stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, as far as Sony animated films go, this is a long way from the Emoji Movie.
Yep. I
And,
mean, it's a pretty low bar, but someone's got to clear it.
I know. Um, I went into this mainly because it's a Phil Lord and Chris Miller movie,
Yep.
so I had to jump on that because those are my boys. After they did Spider Verse.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I mean that explains why it looks so good then.
Yeah, they are the producers on it.
Oh.
It does get a little boomerish about the whole technology is a bad, but it's
Yeah.
nothing too big.
I guess that's okay then.
Yeah.
It for me, it seems like, with the exception of the pug, at least, the rest of the animation seems to be on a high enough level that it can almost carry the rest of the movie on its own, like regardless of the plot. Because it does look really good, and it looks clever, just in that respect.
Oh yeah. I would say it's probably one of the best written kids movies I've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I wish I could remember some of the jokes. But there's like a scene where the dad has to figure out how to look up a video on YouTube.
Yeah.
And the basic punchline of it is it only took 28 minutes of crying, begging, and praying to God, but I eventually found it. So if y'all have a Netflix, I highly encourage it if you have nothing else to watch. Do we have anything else?
That's all I have.
Well, that's all we have. Um, it's May the 4th as we record this, and the whole joke of this episode is I want us to have lightsabers but not talk a little bit about Star Wars. Because I'm not gonna...
Let's not.
Yeah.
I really don't care about Star Wars at the moment. A
No.
lot of the stuff has been very banal.
Yeah. Fucking Star Wars sucks lately.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the joke.
Yeah. Just release the fucking Obi-Wan movie already and get it over with. Then people will care again.
Yeah, man. Fucking Baby Yoda. What is this shit?
What is this shit?
Yeah, dude. I mean,
We don't watch TV. What are you talking about?
fucking Baby Yoda? What the fuck? I'm gonna be honest. I feel like the Mandalorian was just used as a fucking vehicle to make Baby Yoda merch.
I mean, yes. I don't know. I don't really care to get into it.
Yeah.
I have personally no interest in seeing The Mandalorian outside of from like a technical perspective because they did some cool things.
Oh yeah, no, technically
for
impressive.
CGI wise.
Yeah. So we'll just leave it at that. Fucking Star Wars sucks.
Yep.
And they flew too close to the sky, and their wings burned up. It's very fitting we spent more time talking about Marvel.
Yep.
I'm the infamous Orion, and I've been a Schmo.
I'm Kyle, and I've been a Schmo.
And this has been the Two Schmo Shows.